Man, I really didn't think we'd be back here again. Back to kind of where I started with making videos, Kratom videos about quitting. We're back to day one, kids, and on a quit. And I want to share what I'm feeling, what I'm doing to help, and explain how I got here to anybody that's watched my videos on Kratom before. Coming right up. So anybody that's followed my channel knows that I've helped a lot of people get off Kratom. My channel started with me going with like day one, day two, 24-hour mark, etc., going through Kratom Withdrawal. And this was, I guess, maybe a couple of years ago. And I went to where I was going to use Kratom responsibly with great intentions, blah, blah, blah. But as we know, our mind can trick us, and we can find ourselves in places we didn't want to be. So here I am, day one, getting ready to kick the Kratom. And I'm doing a couple of different things to try to make it a bit easier. I've learned a lot by having this channel. I've learned a lot through helping others and just hearing comments and other people sharing. So maybe this is a good thing. I'm trying to look at it that way because I know I'm about to go through some days that aren't fun. I've been down this road once before and I know what to expect. Let me explain kind of how I got here. It was I was using Kratom responsibly, and by that I mean just rarely when I needed to, when I was doing something labor intensive, something that was going to cause my social anxiety to kick up, I would use Kratom. It's great for that. It's awesome. It helps with pain. It helps with and the pain. The reason I have pain is I had a pain condition. I was healed through God, like miraculously. Check out some of my videos. I'll put a link up for my video on how I was healed through God. But you know, I was healed from that pain, so I didn't have the pain, but I still had the social anxiety, and I would use it a lot of times for that. And I also have an issue with EMF sensitivity, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's where I have a problem with Wi-Fi. Like being on Wi-Fi too long, it gives me this anxiety and like I grit my teeth type thing. So I started using Kratom for that as well because I've been working a lot lately, trying to help others through this channel and trying to build my writing business back because I was bedridden for 15 years, blah, blah, blah. So I had to build a writing business back, and that's had a lot of time on the computer and working, etc., etc. So what happened was basically using Kratom here and there responsibly, and I was golden. I was doing great with it. Using it responsibly, eventually it turned into something where I started using more often and kind of, I guess, tested limits with it to where all of a sudden I found out I was using it a lot more often, a lot more regularly, and when I woke up one morning to flu symptoms, I realized where I was at. Now, a lot of people watching this video might be people that are looking at, years and years of use and stuff like that. Like, I can't speak from that perspective because I'm not there. I haven't used for years. Thankfully, I'm catching it now before it gets more intense. I did use for 9 months regularly, very heavily. So this is a little bit of a different situation where I wasn't using as heavily and I wasn't using as long of a period of time. So yeah, I got here by accident. And it's funny because I've talked to a lot of other people that have used responsibly and then found themselves in the same situation. And I'm one that always, I guess, tests limits, and tested it with this Kratom as well, and found out what my limit is. And I was over it. So now I'm at that painful point where for the next, I guess when you watch my last videos, I believe I went about 3 days through Kratom withdrawals where I had the really intense withdrawals. So I'm hoping we can do that where I had the really strong, like, chronic withdrawals. I'm hoping it can be quick, but it might be a little longer. I don't know. I don't know really what to expect. I do somewhat, but I don't know. Every time is different maybe, and I'm going to be using some different tools this time. So basically what I'm feeling right now on day one, it's been about 24 hours since my last dose. I'm tired but can't sleep. I am I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in my stomach, like in my chest. Now, a lot of symptoms that people normally get is they get restless leg syndrome, they get like flu symptoms. I'm using something to beat those, and it's actually quite effective at beating most of those symptoms. But what I am still feeling is, like I said, the anxiety, feeling tired but can't sleep very well, and yeah, it's just a lot of anxiety, a lot of lack of motivation, just wanting to lay around, wishing this would pass by me quickly. And I'm cold, very cold. I've had my heater going a lot. It's been very cold. I'm like the type of person that showers every day, and I just felt like dragging myself in there and trying to hose off today would be a no-go. So I didn't even shower today. So that's kind of what I'm feeling at about the 24-hour mark, day one. And let me explain now what I'm using to, because you might be looking at day one here and being like, well, wow, this guy's doing quite well. Yeah. Surprisingly, through commenters, what I found out about, one of the things you usually get when you have kratom withdrawals is like severe, like explosive diarrhea, not to be rude or crass or gross, whatever, I don't know. But man, like that was always a problem in the past. But there's this product, Imodium AD, that I've taken, and I'm not having that problem, and I'm not having a lot of other problems. I'm taking 4 pills about every 6 hours. Now, I've heard of people saying like these huge doses. I don't recommend that, and I don't recommend Imodium either. Like, I'm not recommending anything because I'm not a doctor. But just based on what I have read, I wanted to try it. I wanted to see how I do. I know people have heart attacks from it, just to be aware. But I've read that people take like mega doses of like 50 pills, like something crazy. And I was just like, what's the smallest amount I can use that's going to get rid of this? Because I get bad body aches. I get really bad body aches and really bad restless legs coming off kratom. So I'm like, what's going to help me alleviate that and these flu-like symptoms that I generally get? So I took the 4 pills of Imodium every 6 hours, and that has seemed to bring those to a halt. Like, awesome. So I'm going to use the smallest amount possible. I found that so far that's the smallest amount possible. I will keep you guys updated as I go on. If that is still effective when we hit like the 48-hour mark, when kratom withdrawals are supposed to be like at full fury. But yeah, not feeling great, but definitely feeling better than I have in the past when I've quit. I know my withdrawals, though, comparative, like when I was before the Imodium, they were bad. Like I did have the body aches. I would have had a lot tougher time making this video. Not to say that I feel like I'm up ready to go run around or anything. I am very irritable, very anxious. It's mainly like a lot of mood. There's body going on too. I don't feel great. I'm going to spend time in bed and just ride this out. But I did want to document it. Imodium is one thing that I'm using. Like I said, 4 pills. I bought CVS generic brand for like 200 pills for like $30. So I knew, I could have used that money for kratom, but I knew like I have to get this back in check. I don't want to get too far. And lesson learned on using kratom more responsibly. And yeah, I know what to expect. I know there's going to be depression. I know I'm going to be cold. I'm just curious how the Imodium plays out. The other thing I'm using is a lot of prayer. If you guys have watched my channel, you know I'm a Christian, and that's a big part of why I don't want to be hooked on a substance. And I believe since my intentions are good for reasons of getting off of the kratom, that the Holy Father up there is going to help me out. So I've been praying for him to ease the symptoms, and there's just been a lot of prayer because there's a lot of depression that'll hit, a lot of anxiety, just where I feel overwhelmed at times with anxiety. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is day one. And throughout this process, I will make videos like I did in the past. I will also connect 2 videos down below for my other experience where I had been at 9 months taking mega doses, like 3 heaping teaspoons every just like couple hours probably. It was insane amounts. And I'll link to those as well for those of you that looking for something like that. But yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna be all right. And positive thinking is a huge thing when you're coming off of this stuff, and just realizing that, things will get better. I know a lot of people watching these videos right now that are getting ready to withdraw or looking into it, etc., etc., are scared, and you know how you're going to feel. You want to see how other people are feeling. It's really just, I tell people left and right, it's positive thinking, it's positive mind, just being stronger than the kratom, telling yourself, I have kratom, like sitting over there ready to go. Like if I want to take a spoonful, this is because I want to quit. I want to be back in control. I don't want to have to take it every day. And it's that mindset of saying, I'm stronger than the kratom. I won't let the kratom beat me, that will let you get through this. And prayer also helps immensely for me. So that's where we're at 24-hour mark. I'm gonna try to make a video every like 24 hours or so, just to keep you guys up to date on the situation here and how I'm doing and how I'm feeling. I'd like to lay down for a nap, really. Like that's where I'm at. Just, man, I thought about, like, I think I mentioned this in my last videos, but just taking sleeping pills and just sleeping through it. Popping a Unisom every few hours, every time I wake up, and just trying to sleep through it, because sleep is something that really does escape you during this. So we'll see what kind of shape I'm in tomorrow when I report back. Any questions, comments? Unfortunately, guys, because my channel has grown, I've had a hard time responding to everybody. I am going to include a link. Sorry, dryer. I'm going to include a link down below to where you can help support my ministry. And what I do through that ministry is I try to help others bring them to God, for one. Like if people have questions, I'm not pushy. I'm not saying like I'm going to come to your house and knock on your door. But people that write me questions about God and stuff, I love to answer. I also try to help people that are having issues with kratom and need somebody to talk to. Unfortunately, I'm not able to help everybody because I've had to start working again. But if you could donate below, if you feel so led to donate below through the link I'm going to attach to this in the description, what you can do is you can help me be able to help others more. And any money that goes to me is freeing up time where I can help others, be it you or be it somebody else. That money you give will help people be able to have somebody to reach out to, helps bring people to God, helps people speak to me more about fluoroquinolone toxicity, which is something I suffered from, helps people just speak to somebody when they're going through the kratom withdrawal, because it can be very lonely, it can be very hard. A lot of times people don't have somebody that they can relate to or talk to about it because their family doesn't know, or whatever it might be, questions, etc. So please consider donating in the link below to either through my Patreon or my GoFundMe to help support this. And that, like I said, that support will go to me helping other people, because unfortunately, I don't have the time to help everybody that's asking lately, because I have to get money going. And it's a horrible world we live in where that's what you have to do. And I hate turning people away, but at this point I've had to. Any comments, questions, drop them below. Likes, I love likes. I love questions, comments. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm going to be throwing up more videos. So please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel. I will try to get to all comments. I can't respond to everyone, but if you have a question, try to drop it down there and I will try to respond to it. And I will try, I do look at them all. If I don't have time to I try to like prioritize, like a triage, and see which ones are the most important to respond to. So there we go, guys. That's where I'm at. I will be back with another video at 48 hours to let you guys know how things are going. All right. Until then, guys, be well. God bless.